Hi friends, today we have in our studio a renowned writer, editor, famous columnist, Gouri Dange. We will be discussing about her new book, Three Dog Night with her. This is to bring out aspects of the book and her writing process. Gouri Dange is a novelist, columnist, and a family counselor with 5 books published. Her popular weekly social satire column with Pune Mirror is in its 7th year and provides humor as well as food for the thought to eager readers. She has a parenting column with the business paper Mint Sunday Section Lounge. She also writes on Hindustani classical music for newspaper The Hindu. Her novels are Three Zakia Mention from Penguin India, The Council of Strangers from OMO Books, Three Dog Night from HarperCollins, and non-fiction books are ABCs of Parenting from Jaico Books, over 50,000 copies sold so far, and more ABC of Parenting from Brandom House, India. Gouri is also a book editor, having edited over 200 books. She is currently working on 2 more works, one of fiction and other of non-fiction. She also conducts writing workshops and also undertakes book coaching to help new writers plan and complete their writing. Dogs and bird watching, gardening, cooking and music are her hobbies in which she invests time and energy on daily basis. She has 1 daughter and 2 granddaughters living in Accra, Ghana, a country she is growing to love and respect every time she visits. So, Gouri, welcome to our studio.
Thank you, Netra. Happy to be here.
Gouri, your book is told in the first person, in the voice of Viva Pradhan. Do readers then assume that this is the book about episodes from your life?
Yes, that initially does become an assumption on the part of some readers that this is an autobiographical work, which it is not. I just thought it would be very interesting to walk in this character's shoes and talk like her. So while one borrows a bit from one's own life, but this is an independent character with her own universe and her own life, and should not be mistaken for me or anything that happened to me in my life.
Okay. Why did you decide on the main character who is 61 years old, and while you show her first winding down her life, sort of retiring, then she gets caught up in many ups and downs again? What are you trying to say through this character?
I've watched aging people around me, and I've noticed that they all go through that one learning curve where first you think you must wind down your life, now you must slow down. The society around you puts the pressure on you to rethink how the pace at which you live. And then people realize that there is no such artificial divide, that one fine day you are retired, one fine day you need to do less. And the demands of life become different, but they are there. And those who I've seen that those who stand up and answer to those demands and remain ever present in their lives are the ones who remain happy right till the end of their days. So I was very fascinated with somebody who's going to show. I wanted the character to show this trajectory of starting with saying, now less, give away things, do less things. But life has other plans for her. Life literally throws her those googly balls and dusra balls, and she has to feel those and continue. So there's no quiet retirement for anybody really, anyone who wants to remain engaged in their life.
Viva has a complex relationship with her daughter and seems to be a simpler, nicer relationship with her daughter-in-law. Tell us little more about this aspect of the story.
A lot of women have asked me this question, and they've also said that it does reflect the reality of their lives too. A growing daughter with ideas of her own, independence of her own. It's a difficult relationship. It's a loving but not always easy relationship. With the daughter-in-law, people determinedly decide not to go into sas bahu mode and to keep it nice and even. I've seen a lot of such combinations where, possibly because it is slightly formal, the relationship with the daughter-in-law remains easy and well defined. With the daughter, the boundaries are so weaving in and out that it remains a relationship that has to be, what should I call it, has to be negotiated all the time. So in this case, like many daughters, she has ideas of her own, the mother has ideas of her own, and they have been, I wouldn't say at all enemies, but it's a difficult path on which they are both walking. And yet, somewhere towards the end of the novel, I did want to show, and it grew like that organically, the relationship, where they begin to fully understand and appreciate each other much more than in the 25 years up till then, what has happened between them.
Many people have enjoyed the recipes that you have woven in the story in a very organic way, I must say. Tell us more about why you choose to have these and how have the readers responded to it.
I find that in normal conversation, especially women, they may be telling you about something very important and serious that has happened in their life or had happened. But how easily on the side they'll quickly tell you a recipe. They'll even remember on a very, very difficult day, but what they ate or what they cooked or what somebody made for them. And as they say in Marathi, bolta bolta, they will tell you a recipe. I wanted to bring that flavor into it, where in the context of something, say she remembers her time with her husband before he passed away and some dish they would make together, or she would remember something that she and her grandson enjoy very much. At one time she meets there's a gunda who she meets, who she contacts for some help. He feeds them a certain dish. I felt it would be fun to provide the full recipe. They aren't usual recipes. There's dal dhokri from Gujarat. There is a dessert which is a black coffee jelly dessert. Some of these are from my family also, from others' family. There's a recipe for prawns which you cook sealed inside a coconut. So I tried to find context in which this recipe would be narrated. You'll see that the recipes are almost narrated.
Okay.
And my readers, so it was interesting. One of my friends, who's a fellow writer, Shobha Bondre, went out of her way to try out one of the recipes and call me over home. And we had a big sit-down dinner with a couple of recipes from the book. So people are, everybody says, "Me try karna re." I'm going to try it out because they want to make sure that it's authentic also.
I must try always. You are now writing a sequel to Three Dog Night called Kanjivarams and Kilts. Tell us more about this. What can we look forward to in this sequel?
It's strictly speaking not a sequel. I just want to write again with the same characters. So in this book you will also see some prequel aspects. You'll see some things which happened even before the Three Dog Night, which happened in Viva's life or in Idan's life, the Scotsman who she meets. So we see we are backing and forthing in their life story, right, from before they met, later. I also like the unusual and very well matched, unusual but well put together relationship between this elderly Scotsman and this elderly lady, and how they redefine their lives and the lives of the people around them. There is the theme of dogs, since he's a veterinarian, and she takes photographs she's documenting indigenous dog breeds.
Okay.
I think a lot of people like that aspect, which was it's a small aspect of the previous book. I may bring more of that into this book. I will definitely be bringing more recipes. I was once told that why are all the characters in all your books likable? Why is there no villains in your book? So, well, there was in Three Zakia Mansion, there was a villainous Saas. Here there will be a villainous ex-husband. I like to, as a counselor, I study psychology, like to explore how people can be nasty without being openly villainous. Manipulative people who are cruel but all the time smiling and very pleasant. You will see one such new character in this book also. You asked me about why the character is 60 years old.
Yes.
Even in the Council of Strangers, the previous book, there is a Wing Commander Brahme who's 73 years old. And why did I bring him in? Not only because I felt old people should be represented in books, but I see how people have to redefine and reinvent their lives sometimes as late as after 70. So in his case, he was widowed, goes to America and finds that he's being pushed into a pigeonhole of what your children's idea is what you should do after 70. But he decides to buy a ticket on the Greyhound and on the rapid transit system and just go into adventure in that country. And the adventure brings him new love. It brings him better understanding of people around him, of himself. And that's why I feel I would like to explore, continue having characters who aren't all just young, first love, anxieties of parenting, under 30, right? This is not it's not my area of interest. I also like to give a slice of life. So you will have in the same book the 7-year-old Nepali boy, the 14-year-old grandson, the 30-year-old friend of Viva, then Viva, her daughter is 30, 35, 60-year-old Viva, and 70-year-old Aiden. So I feel it represents how we are in real life, all age groups, well meshed with each other.
Very true. So, thank you, Gouri. It was really wonderful talking to you. Hope we will have you once again with us talking about your other books like Three Zakia mentioned.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.